Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Amber Peterson, and I'm from Permian Peterson Associates. We believe that building a culture inside creates public trust outside, which is why we bring you these tips with experts that we know in order to help you better things in your agency to serve your community even better than you do now. And with me today is retired Assistant Chief Sue Williams. Thank you so much, Sue, for coming with us today. She's from Madison PD, long career there. I'll let her share a little bit more about herself. But can you first start us off with, how long were you with Madison PD?
I retired with 31 years on the Madison Police Department.
Wonderful. So if you could share with us, Sue, what you and your leadership team did to engage employees and get them involved in new projects, because we both know that's so important when it comes to satisfaction, enjoyment in a career, getting people involved.
Yeah, very important. The Madison Police Department really had engagement throughout the department with both commission and civilian as a bedrock of our belief system, if you will. And I think that goes all the way back to when we're recruiting and hiring, we're not looking for the same type of individual with the same type of life experiences, but we really, in my belief, went above and beyond trying to recruit a very diverse pool of candidates so that we could select the best and the brightest, if you will. And when you do that and you recruit on the basis of we value your life experiences and we want you to come with your unique perspectives and your unique ideas, you better follow it up with providing them the opportunity to do that. And as in most agencies, you start with your career in patrol services. And if you don't provide that avenue for creativity and information sharing, even in the patrol services venue, you can lose people quickly. And so what we always tried to stress to our commanders and to remember the small platoon concept, if you will, to meet with people often, to hear what they're dealing with, their ideas, the concerns, where they want to go in the future, if they have projects right now that they want to work on, or ideas for in the future, career aspirations, helping target them to look into that. But really, it's involving people in their everyday lives, in their work groups with, could we be doing something different? Could we be doing something better based on your perspective? And having those honest conversations and then thinking about, is this something that is doable? Is this something I can carry on to the people that will approve budgets if there's money involved in an idea? And helping flush out what's realistic, what isn't realistic, what can we do now? Is the idea too big? Can we slice it down into smaller pieces? Sometimes you have to ask people to be patient, and that although their idea is a good one, it can't be moved forward immediately, but to let them know that you heard them and to give them the credit when the idea does become available, as well as allowing them, if possible, to be a part of those discussions and creativity, brainstorming to make the project into a reality. And it makes them feel like they've really accomplished something, and it provides satisfaction of their job, and that they really do have the opportunity to make a difference, not only for themselves, but within the agency, and then translating all the way down to the service again, provided by or to the community. And so otherwise you're going to have a lot of turnover, really, very often.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And what I also picked out of that too was that, not only are you in amongst this, besides, you're asking for the patience, but you are holding these ideas very gently, if you will, because these are there might be some trepidation on people's parts in bringing new ideas forward, and depending on how they've experienced bringing new ideas in the past and how that turned out maybe. And it sounds like as a big part of that as well as there's a trust that's built, a trust
Yes.
that we will circle back, or we will build on this together.
Yes. Yes. And I think making yourself as a leader of an organization accessible, um, so that you can have honest conversations about where things are at. It, 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 it helps the officers, the sergeants, commanders understand that it's, if something doesn't get moved forward, it's not because um, you just didn't hear them, but there's other reasons behind why things sometimes have to be postponed. And if it is a money maker or a money costing project, I should say, um, there's times when, even when you believe wholeheartedly that this is something that would be really helpful to the community, if the budget doesn't get passed, that would support that initiative. Again, you have to go back and just be honest and let everybody know that it just didn't, we couldn't sell it this time. That doesn't mean it can't be tried next year. But honesty and accessibility, I think, are incredibly important for people to feel like they have the ability to make change.
Yes, absolutely. Honesty and giving the why
Right.
something can or cannot happen now, and maybe it's now and not yet versus ever. Yeah.
Correct. Correct.
I'm wondering what resistance you and your team saw or experienced in starting to foster new ideas coming in, and how did you overcome that?
Sometimes it was just a matter of explaining the idea to the people who are above you, to get their buy-in, and to let them know that even though there might be a need to uh, devote resources to a project, that in the end it'll become uh, have better outcomes. Sometimes it was working with the unions to get them to understand that by taking staff away from patrol services, which is the bread and butter of all departments, that the goal is to reduce the amount of calls for those patrol services. An example would be, I remember when we were trying to get the mental health officer unit developed within the department. It was something that the chief really wanted. It was something that the community seemed to really want. Our stakeholders in the community, the Alliance with the Mentally Ill, thought it was a great idea. But to take, unless we could get a budget initiative to add 5 officers, since there was 5 districts, and we didn't think, because at the time the budgets were really lean, and so it meant, can we afford to take officers off of the street from assigned to patrol services and reassign them to this mental health unit? And would we see a reduction, if you will, to the calls for service? And it was, we had a lot of conversations with the union, and we listened to, we would go to the Officer Advisory Council, which had representatives of each district as officers and each shift, as well as sergeants and detectives. And we pitched our idea to them. We heard their concerns. We tried to respond to their concerns, and ultimately we got buy-in with everybody. And the office had a selection process, and the officers who became those mental health officers really took it seriously and knew that they needed to be accessible to the street officers, the patrol officers, when they had a call, to actually respond to those calls when available. And again, worked with the community as well, so that people understood what was going on. And it's very satisfying to see something that was an idea, map it out, make it happen, and to see the value that the community really saw in it, as well as the stakeholders within the community.
And I'm sure you weren't the only one that felt really satisfied to see that come to fruition as well.
Oh, yeah. No, everybody did. Everybody did. And from what I'm hearing, they still do.
Good, good. And what I really love about that too is that it was being open to influence, not even just at the very start with an idea, but being open to the concerns of, say, the union, the concerns of the community, of the council, of everyone that was involved along the way, and giving people the moment to voice their opinion, put their piece into it, help form it to what it was. And then it sounds like it was a better thing at the end than just with starting with one idea and just taking that. So
Right, right.
what best practices would you share with our other leaders on, say, opening the door for unique perspectives and being open to influence from others outside of the leadership team?
I think it's important for leaders to be open to um, hearing the ideas of not only people within the department, but within the community, because sometimes it's a small idea from the outside that can really start the small concept and turn into a larger joint project that everybody can kind of get their hands around, and think this is going to be a really good thing. Always looking for new ways of doing things and solving the issues, and that it can also be from learning from other agencies, and being open to trainings and collaboration, and not necessarily police agencies, but other departments.
It sounds like really first starting with creating a culture inside your own department that really values ideas and learning together and unique perspectives in order to allow that type of thing to happen outside.
Yeah. I just can't stress enough that you get these kinds of ideas if you make a concerted effort to hire the diverse um, department that you strive to. And I think diversity in the staff is the key, because if everybody is similar, you don't necessarily have that expanse of ideas, and and so people will tend to think similarly, and it's having the diversity of thought and the diversity of ideas based on people's life experiences that help come up with these new projects, and these end up being successful new units within an agency that you might not have thought of before. And sometimes it's somebody coming up with something that is brand new, and it might be something like where I grew up, my department had this. Why doesn't the Madison Police Department try that? And so you're always looking introspectively, can we as a department support this idea, and if so, how can we help this become something that is attainable? And then keeping the people who had the ideas involved in developing the ideas, so that when it does come to fruition, they're proud of not only the department, but they can see the value of their ideas, and that the department will stand behind them.
Thank you for saying that, Sue, because we know that's one really important part of this slice of culture when you talk self-actualization is inviting people to the process, but two, allowing them to participate and give their opinion and have influence in the entire process where possible, with boundaries and limitations respected.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Well, we so appreciate all of your knowledge and wisdom that you shared today with us, Sue. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, you bet. Just
Yes.
happy to talk with you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And with that, we appreciate you joining us for our public safety culture tips this month. Watch next month, more content coming at you. And for now, if you have any questions about how you could implement this in your own agency or start to increase the self-actualization, which is the satisfaction, the creativity, the sharing of ideas, please reach out. We'll have our contact information in the comments, and we're happy to speak with you to see how we can help you make that happen. Have a fabulous day. Be safe and be well.